Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session. This session is gonna be about like shaping basically the future with generative AI. Welcome, everyone, and yeah, I'm Xavi. I'm Google developer expert in machine learning, and with me today we have Rachi. Rachi, if you wanna introduce yourself.
Sure. Thank you so much, Xavier, for having me here. I am Ruchi Dhar and I am a startup expert, consultant, and freelancer as well. I am also founder of startupboypins.com and findmyai.com. Find with a Y, FINDMYAI.com. And yeah, I've been in the startup ecosystem and now I'm really excited about the AI space.
That's great. And yeah, this is a online connection between Madrid, Spain, and Singapore, which is
Yes.
really cool. We meet each other in person in the Google Developer Online and Community Summit in Singapore
Yeah.
last month.
Yep.
That was wonderful. I learned a lot about online communities and especially for online communities, there was like a couple of talks really, really great about that. And yeah, it was amazing. And also you were speaking at the Dev Fest on Discord, right?
Yeah, that's when we met first time online.
Yeah, no, that's great. And speaking about the Discord channel, uh, on March 9th and on March 10th, it's gonna be the International Woman Day online there. So
Yes.
if everyone wants to go there and check it out, it's gonna be an awesome event. So, yeah, with that being said, let's start shaping the future with generative AI. We have prepared, a couple of questions to go through related to generative AI. So, Rachi, generative AI is very present in our, in the industry, in the everywhere. We are seeing Gen AI. I mean, on X.com, Twitter,
Yep.
on Notion, on the Google products now. They are renaming Duet AI to Gemini. Also on while coding using Copilot or using Gemini as well. But what role do generative AI and large language models play in the near future, and how are they transforming various industries? Because we are seeing, I'm seeing a variety of industries, like from even like from healthcare to banking, which are like
Same.
super, like super restrictive in terms of, like compliances and data. And but also, like every single application, as I mentioned, it has a Gen AI feature. So yeah, I want to know or to hear about your thoughts on this.
Sure. Nice question. I would like to start answering this with three facts. So, Goldman Sachs predicts that Gen AI will raise the global GDP by like 7%, which is $7 trillion. McKinsey projects an economic impact of 6 to 8 trillion annually, and Precedence Research believes that AI market size will hit more than USD 2500 billion by 2032. It's expected to grow at a CAGR of 24%, resulting in a substantial market volume. And we see the multimodal generative model as the fastest growing model. The image and video model is also experiencing substantial growth due to its ability to produce high quality, realistic visuals, especially with the recent launch of Soro. We have seen that. Sora, sorry.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
yeah, and I think in the industries that you mentioned, it's going to take over all the industries in next 5 to 10 years. And in manufacturing, it's already having an positive impact with 80%, and increasing the productivity and transforming the way they work. In retail, it's personalizing the customer experience and product recommendation. In financial finance, it's helping, in fraud detection, risk assessment, predicting the market trends and complex financial documents, and providing insights to the investors to help them make an informed decision. In healthcare, it can analyze vast amount of medical research, patient records, and trials, helping in diagnosis, treatment, planning, and research. Even the AI-powered chatbots and virtual nurses help patients with information, support, and reminders for medication and appointments. In supply chain, it's automating the task, predicting demand, optimizing delivery routes, and inventory management. It's also used in marketing, creating high quality content for personalized marketing campaigns, customer experience, product design, optimization, drug discovery, providing personalized education to students in creative industries like in music, art, in legal services to analyze complicated documents and case summaries, and also in the language translation to reach more global audience. So it's really revolutionizing how businesses are operating and communicating across various industries now.
Yeah, those are great points, because what we have seen is when, like, last year on December 2022, like last year, when the Gen AI, like when GPT-3 came out, how all the industries and how, like all the companies were like trying to build something for their own use cases. And
Yeah.
that's what we are seeing. Like, whenever you like open an app, you will see a use case that
Yep.
helps or tries to helps the user, like as you say, like for um uh, I don't know, like for making better like appointments, or like to giving better information to the user, to help the users
Yes.
in the journey of that application. And yeah, and not only that, like also the startup ecosystem around the Gen AI, like it's, I mean, right now of course is, like the trending thing, because like all the startups are basically Gen AI startups, and
Yeah.
there's there's a boom, and all the venture capitals and the funding firms, they are like very into the Gen AI. So yeah, I mean, for the near future, I mean, that something right now is like the trend. I am a little bit cautious about the near future, because like if you see the Gartner graph. The Gartner graph is the graph that explains the trends over the time. So
Hmm.
if you see that graph, like is that graph explains like every technology that is, like right now. For instance, like I don't know, like app development, and that determines if it is in a high momentum, or it is just in a stable momentum. That in
Hmm.
there you can see, for instance, like virtual reality, augmented reality, and how that VR and AR, like it came from hype to basically stabilize a
Okay.
couple of times, and now with Apple Vision Pro, it is going to the hype momentum as well. So for the Gen AI right now, of course, we are in the hype, but yeah, in the next 3 years or 2 years, we will need to see like how all these things about Gen AI, like in where it at where place are we are gonna be at.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, at least for now, everything is awesome, and the capabilities and everything that we are seeing is basically awesome. And the one thing that I love from the Gen AI, and that's something that will help us in the future, is that Gen AI finally democratize the artificial intelligence
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
everyone, like OpenAI using just a super basic API that everyone can use. Gemini with
Yeah.
the Gemini API, with the Google AI Studio, with Gemini one Pro or 1.5 Pro, and yesterday with that they released Gemma.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, that is gonna be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
speaking about, like the startup ecosystem and, about innovation, what do you think is going to be the potential impact of generative AI on creativity and innovation, and how it might influence the way we approach problem solving?
So let me take example of Mid-Journey, which is a tool we all know. So
Yeah.
when we typed a prompt asking it to create an image mixing elephant and butterfly, so I saw the image. It generated an image of an elephant with its ears of a butterfly wings. So it was like out of this world and unreal, and something that if we would have given it to a human, so I'm not sure if the human would have come up with that kind of an artistic. So definitely, it is a very. It has a potential impact on the design, creativity, and innovation. Even in retail industries, it's being used to create T-shirt designs and other product designs, which are trendy and attracting the customers. As it challenges the expertise bias it has, and the fixations that a human nature has. And it also helps in problem solving, because it helps in the idea refinement, idea evaluation, facilitates collaboration within among the users. It can help in co-creation of new offerings, making it much easier and less expensive. Like a business can give users tools to generate designs and then create a personalized version of the product, or can have a crowdsourcing platform where the designs are evaluated by the community and selected. So there's a wide range of possibilities in AI, and it also helps in problem solving by defining the issues through data analysis for clarity, analyzing the problems, uncovering the patterns and insights beyond the human reach. And in solution generation, it's assessing numerous options, leveraging its computational power, predicting the outcomes, and ensuring that solutions are feasible and effective. So, in nutshell, it's helping in the idea generation, the design space, augmented creativity, personalization, customization, cross-disciplinary and cross-functional collaboration and insights, prototyping, and automation of the routine task, making our lives very simple in every day.
Yeah, and like the the common use case that we have seen for generative AI, at least in our day to day, is basically for text generation, or like
Mhm.
while chatting, using the chat models, like Chat Bison, for instance, that is available on Google Cloud. But
Mhm.
uh, as you mentioned, like Midjourney and Sora, and like for instance Gemini Vision Pro, like all these models that are not only text models, are like
Audio wave.
incredible. Like they,
Yeah.
if we are talking about innovation, I think that could probably like one of the biggest innovation, like when you al- also like the genetic models are creating like music, like that's
Yeah.
mind-blowing. Like you can see, or you can like create whatever you want
Yeah.
without having to like to hire a like a musician, or multiple musicians to create a song,
Yeah.
or a designer. That's wonderful.
Yep.
it's it's really great because in the past,
It's
like for instance, let's say that you want to create, I don't know, like in my case, right now, while I am like writing an article, for example, I use generative AI
yeah,
um, to extract that or to not to extract, but like to create the structure of the article. And once the article is finished, I create the thumbnail using Midjourney, for example. So that is, like just a basic prompt, and I have like a really good written article with, like a good structure following, like good patterns, and that's really really great. And like all the things that we are seeing with Sora, that came up in
yeah,
last week, and all the videos that we have seen on Twitter, that's crazy. Like,
unimaginable.
exactly. And if you compare Sora with other models that were released just a year ago, it's like, what the hell is going on here? Like, it is crazy. It is crazy how fast we are going, and how the models are performing, and how they are improving it in basically a year. Of course, um, like all these models, to train them, it takes a while in terms of
Yeah,
time, in terms of compute, in terms of cost, in terms of energy consumption. But when they are out, it is wonderful to use them.
yeah.
And yeah, talking about, like all these ethical considerations in terms of, for instance, as I said, like energy consumption, but also about data and all that stuff. How do ethical considerations come into play when developing and deploying large language models, or fine tuning large language models? What steps can be taken to ensure responsible and unbiased AI? Because right now, um, there are problems. The main of the problems that when the companies wants to, like land generative AI in their business, is more related to, like to this responsible AI and all that
Mm.
stuff. What are your thoughts on that front?
I think there are a lot of ethical issues associated with AI, including its accuracy, capabilities, and the potential misuse for malicious purpose, and of course the environmental impact, the carbon footprint it's producing, and the ethical considerations include how we'll regulate its use, because see, AI, these Gen AI systems are prone to errors and can give you incoherent, untrue responses, raising question on their reliability. And issues like gender biases in text to image generation and manipulation of chatbots is it's a pressing issue, and we need to make sure there is responsible AI development. I take example of Air Canada. I think a couple of days back, this issue
Oh
came
yeah.
wherein they use Gen AI in their chatbots to make customer interaction automating, and it created a fake refund policy that didn't exist in Air Canada. And when the customer sent a notice and whatever happened, Air Canada said that we are not responsible for what the chatbot is producing as a response because we do not own it. So there is definitely lack of accountability, there is no transparency, there are automated decisions and biases and privacy and data protection issues that can really be harmful. And they are actually categorized under three aspects. One is the toxicity of the content, second is the hallucination, and third is the legal aspect of the data protection and intellectual property. Now, there can be a few ways in which we can reduce this by ensuring that the training data that is used for the AI/ML models are diverse, It represents a large population. We need to identify and evaluate the data sources that are used for training these models that can unintentionally introduce bias. Data pre-processing should be applied to mitigate the biases present in the training data. conduct Conducting the bias assessment on data by addressing the removing such data that are influencing this bias. And the most important is that we need to regularly monitor and evaluate the real world applications of AI/ML, so that it produces correct information. And we need regulation and board to see regulate all this. And I think training and awareness programs are also going to work, wherein we make sure that people have strong understanding of the ethics and principles surrounding AI/ML. And some of the I would say standard things would be the inclusivity and the accessibility, like you talked about democratizing the AI through Gen AI. So we need to make sure that everybody has access to it, and it's an inclusive community with diverse user group and interface. And the most important thing is the human oversight and control, which is essential to ensure ethical decision making and mitigate unintended consequences or algorithmic errors surrounding it.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. This morning, I mean, yesterday, Gemma came out, and one of the parts that came out with Gemma was a responsible AI framework
Hmm.
that the Google team designed to address all these issues, and that's open source and can be used for everyone. That was used while Gemma was training and all the during all the Gemma development process for that model. So there are a couple things that needs to be done as well. Like for instance, I would say like whenever you create a test, a Gen AI application, my recommendation as well is going to be like test that and with all the like write test to see the output and see that everything is working. Because for instance, when you change, when let's say that you develop a Gen AI app and then you change a little bit the prompt that you are using in the Gen AI app, that could
Hmm.
change everything. If you
Yeah.
change the model, that could change everything. So write test to ensure that everything is working as expected,
Hmm.
and use Gen AI to write those tests. Because like we are like limited, or we can have like some ideas, but
Hmm.
like in the future we can with the Gen AI we can use the like that prompt or a prompt to generate more tests. So yeah, that's something that I highly recommend. And also like all the new framework that Gemma uses, and the Google release yesterday. And yeah, and also I think on LangChain there are options that you can add, like banned phrases or banned words that you can add to avoid these kind of things. But like to avoid toxicity, harmful, or discriminatory language. But at
Hmm.
the very end, um, yeah, like basically testing and testing and testing, because if not, you are gonna have like some surprises,
Yeah.
like the Air Canada one, like the Chevrolet chat,
Yeah.
because the Chevrolet chatbot that they create, they were selling Chevrolets for just $1. So this kind of things needs to be
Yeah.
addressed ASAP. So
Yep.
um, right now that we are in a like in a tumultuous world with a lot of like global challenges, how
Hmm.
or in what ways do you think that generative AI can contribute to address like climate change, healthcare, or education?
Um, I think taking use case example one by one, if I start with healthcare, it's already helping in personalized treatment plans and other extensive analysis for drug discovery and medical research, analyzing the molecular data and compounds, and inventing good efficacy and safety elements there. And in the operation part, it is streamlining the logistics and the automation of administrative tasks, enhancing the decision-making precision of a doctor, and finally, improving the operational efficiency and making a patient-centric healthcare experience so that the doctor doesn't waste time in the administrative task and can see more number of patients in a given time frame. Similarly, in education, we see a personalized classes for every student now with the advent of AI. They can have their own lesson plans, interactive exercises on topics and criteria that teachers specify, and can be different for different students based on their key skills. There are AI tools where they can upload their recordings, and they can see who how the child is responding to it, and producing exercises that are going to be interesting for that child. So let's suppose a child is not interested in writing classes but is interested in basketball. So then there are tools which can come up and generate lesson plans to write on basketball, so that it's personally relevant and focused on that particular student. And I think it also helps to reduce the gap between students whose families can afford a private tutor and those who cannot. Coming to the climate, I think there are a lot of things AI is doing there. It's already trained to measure the iceberg changes 10,000 times faster than a human could, and already helping in assessing the deforestation impact, reforestation, making waste management system more efficient by analyzing the waste processing and recycling. It's also helping to clear plastic pollution from oceans. So the AI will detect the objects that helps the organization create the detailed maps of the ocean litter in different locations, and then the waste can be gathered and removed, which is a more efficient than the previous cleanup methods of finding where the litter is. Similarly, it's also helping to predict the climate disasters and when will they occur, what type of disasters it would be. It's also helping in decarbonizing the operations in many industries, helping to plant trees by dropping seed capsules. I mean, they are pairing up with drones, and the computer will define the target and number of seeds to be dropped, and then the drone will disperse the seeds, which is like faster than humans. So it's really doing wonders there, and even in agriculture, food security, and sustainable aviation. So it's definitely addressing a lot of climate. I mean, global challenges.
Yeah. No, those are like great. I mean, those are great challenges and also great solutions. And
Yeah.
thanks to the Gen AI and like like uh, people building solutions using Gen AI and also AI definitely helps a lot. And I'm
Yeah.
assuming that that they are building kind of how is it called, like fine-tune models for those specific
Mhm.
challenges, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Use case models.
Exactly, exactly. So, yeah, I don't know, we have Wi-Fi issues. Let me double check. Can you hear me well?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. It's telling me that my connection is unstable. Perfect. So
Oh,
let's move on. Yeah, I think there are like really several global challenges that Gen AI can help. Like, And there are also like a bunch of startups that are using Gen AI to solve these global challenges.
Yes.
It's not only related to just creating chatbots or solutions
Yeah.
uh, like Bard or ChatGPT. Sorry, it's just about like how we can like safely use Gen AI to like resolve or solve real problems, like real
Mm.
global challenges, which is really, really, really great. Because
Yeah.
like the examples that we were doing at the beginning, like like when you open Notion, or when you open your Gmail and you have like Duet AI and all that stuff there, that's fine. But when if we can use or apply that AI to global
Yeah.
challenges, is when we are gonna do the real change,
Absolutely.
So as I mentioned before, like if we saw the models that were released last year, like GPT 3.5, GPT 3.5 Turbo, Palm, and now that we saw GPT-4, 4 Turbo, Gemini 1, Gemini 1.5 Pro, like these models are becoming more and more sophisticated. What are
Yeah.
the key challenges in managing and mitigating potential risk associated with their use?
Yeah, I think as we discussed the Air Canada issue and the Chevrolet chatbot stuff, there is definitely lack of transparency. And when people cannot comprehend how an AI system arrives at its conclusion, it can lead to a lot of distrust and resistance to adopting these technologies. Also, AI has biases and discriminations in their output. We have privacy concerns, ethical issues, security risk from cyber attacks, and people who can bypass security measures with AI and exploit the vulnerabilities in the system. Also, the over reliance of AI may lead to loss of creativity and critical thinking skills and the human intuition. So, we need to strike a balance between AI assisted decision making and human input. Also, the job displacement happening, leading to economic inequality, the legal and regulatory challenges like liability and intellectual property rights, the loss of human connection and human touch, with diminishing empathy and social skills, misinformation, manipulation, leading to unintended consequences, and finally, the existential risk because AI has a power to surpass human intelligence, which is a long term concern for humanity. So, there is definitely risk involved, and we need to know the system before we fully adopt it.
Yeah, and we also need to know that we are like talking with an AI, because like when you are when you are interacting with, for instance, with ChatGPT, you can see at the very bottom that it says the output could be not accurate or false.
Yeah, yeah, correct.
That's something that you can see on ChatGPT. So um, you what you as a user, you have to be aware of these things. Of course, like when you are using a an Gen AI end user application, you will expect that all the information is accurate and that everything is like fully tested and everything is working as expected. But my recommendation is going to be like, of course, yes, but when you see something that like it's kind of weird,
Mm.
please contact the support team, or like, or yeah, a customer success, or someone from the tool that you are using, because probably
Yeah,
something is wrong, like the Air Canada issue that you mentioned.
yeah.
And yeah, like all these models as well, like the lack of transparency. I mean, of course, like they are researching and they are trying to be like, like the best in the field. You know, you have OpenAI on one hand, then you have Google with Gemini, then you have Anthropic with Claude. So
Mm.
it is, you know, like a lot and a lot and a lot of research papers, but there's also a lack of transparency. Like they are not um, telling us all the information that we need, because basically that's the key of their business. But
Mm.
yeah, that's a
Be
mess,
careful.
I would say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we have to be careful.
exactly. Um, the one thing that you mentioned that I think that is really important is also the privacy concerns. Like when we are using these public endpoints, for instance, like the public OpenAI,
Yep.
the public Gemini, public Claude, like those are like privacy concerns. Like there are privacy concerns that we have to be aware of as well. Like, are they using our interactions to retrain their models? Are they, what are they doing right now with our data? You know, it is
Yeah.
better, you know, like to deploy your models in your system. Of course, like you cannot deploy I don't know, like a Gemini, but you can deploy a Llama 2, or you can deploy a Gemma, or with Azure you can deploy an OpenAI private instance, for example,
Mhm.
and then use that instead of using public instances. So that is gonna be my recommendation, also for compliance and for these privacy concerns that will address most of the issues that can be raised, basically.
Mm.
But yeah, and also the thing that you mentioned about legal and regulatory challenges, we are seeing nowadays a lot of like really bad news of, you know, like people using AI in the way that should not be used. And at least
Yeah.
here in Europe and also in Spain, like the Spanish government and also the European government, I know they are working on regulations around AI, around generative AI, and how to uh, the AI should be used. So of
Yeah.
course, you know, like in the US, there is more freedom in terms of how to deal with data, you know.
Hmm.
But in the European Union is very restrictive. So I know that they are working on that, which is amazing. I don't know about Singapore. Is the Singapore government working on any kind of regulations about the usage of AI?
Yeah, I think they are also working here in the East, and even in India. I mean, the governments are really looking at their like what is the pressing issues in the future with AI, and they're trying to come up with some framework and discussing the issues with the startups in those regions so that they can come up with the regulations sooner.
Yeah, that's great to hear, because you know, like when something new comes up, there's yeah, like a work, you know, related to legal things that needs to, you know, like needs to be addressed ASAP. So
Hmm.
yeah, that's really really great to hear. Um, so in terms of, you know, like we have mentioned, or we have talked about, you know, like different use cases, but if we put a focus on customer experiences, how can businesses leverage generative AI to enhance those customer experiences, and what are some real world examples of successful implementation that you found?
Definitely, it's changing how business interacts with their customers now. With the level of personalization they're achieving is just previously unimaginable. And they analyze the customer data and preferences, and then Gen AI can tailor the marketing campaigns for every customer differently, provide product recommendations and customer service interactions to individual customer, increasing the brand loyalty and the customer relationship. And not just customer experiences, there are a lot of tools now in other use case scenario. They're putting, as you said, the text generation is the most common use, and it's being used in CX for powering the chatbots and virtual assistants. And virtual assistants with context, which have been fed with millions of conversational samples. So they can recognize the parameters of the customer and help to respond to them through their previous conversation with the customer. And a good example, I can say there are two, three examples. One is the Expedia travel website that integrated with ChatGPT to help help the users uh, make their travel plans, and they talk to the chatbot for places to go, where to stay, and how to get around, as if it's like a human travel agent. And also the chatbot is using Expedia's flight data to compare the prices on the day with historical price trends and tracking the fluctuations, making it easier for the traveler to decide when to book and earn the reward. Similarly, one of the US banks discovered using AI tool that they're getting like 100,000 calls a month from customers who need assistance to log into their online accounts. And as a result, the bank updated their login information on the website, leading to a decrease in call volume and increase in the efficiency. So it's also helping in improving the customer journey. And apart from that, helping in the payment queries and FAQs for the customers. And one last example would be Twilio, which is partnered with OpenAI for the CX practitioners and marketeers. And they are basically leveraging the AI predictions to trigger the customer journey and personalizing the multi-channel experiences. And another function they use is the voice intelligence, using the transcription and the language tool that deploys conversational speech recognition to gain insights and report on trends like feedback and compliance risk. I mean, there are a lot of use cases, and there are a lot of AI tools now, and a lot of them you can find in my, findmyai.com as well. Not just this customer experience, but other use cases as well.
Yeah, those are great examples. I would add two more, which are the intercom and Zendesk, like how they like create in this case, we are talking about like chatbot experiences, but basically they have created for Zendesk, for example, they have created chatbots that they can read from, like the customer support tickets from the knowledge base, like using retrieval augmented generation using Air AG. So whenever a user wants to, like to ask questions about XYZ tool, there's a Zendesk chatbot that reads from, like the from the past, like from the past experience of other users from the knowledge base, and I think that increases the customer experience, because a bunch of tickets, instead of like being raised to Zendesk, are being solved within the chatbot, which is
Mhm.
really really great. I saw the percentage, and you can go from like I don't know, like 40% or 30% being solved by the chatbot to like close to 80%, 85% just
Wow.
being closed by the solutions given by the chatbots. And the Zendesk chatbots are just reading from from the information that is already available on Zendesk. And for that, like, these kind of solutions can be built, for instance, like using the Flow CX with like all the Vertex AI search and conversations. Those can be also used with Voice Flow as well, which is the company that I'm working right now. So you can build these kind of solutions with that in a
Wow.
no code way, like no one with like like you can go there without any kind of like technical skills, and you can build those kind of chatbots super easy. So highly recommended, which because I think those
Yeah.
are great tools, and you can create like really great customer experiences like the
Yeah.
Zendesk one. We are under 45 minutes of this session with the shaping the future with generative AI. So let's wrap up with the last question. Are there any emerging trends or breakthroughs in generative AI that you find particularly exciting? What do you think about the the future of Gen AI in the coming years?
Okay, now that's an interesting question. Definitely it has increased the productivity and in helped businesses gain a lot of efficiency and reduce cost. There some amazing trends would be the enhancement of natural language processing, which advances the language models and finds its application in the content creation, customer service. We see innovation in image and video generation as well with Sora and Midjourney, finding its application in entertainment, marketing, and virtual reality, the music industry, the art, and so on. I mean, healthcare, retail, e-commerce. I mean, the list goes endless. Definitely, I think I anticipate that there will be emergence of AI systems with advanced emotional intelligence, which could understand and respond to human emotions, leading to more empathetic and personalized interactions in areas like mental health support, education, and customer service. Another groundbreaking thing I see is the integration of AI into quantum computing. And this fusion could exponentially increase the processing power and efficiency of the AI system and unlocking the new frontiers in the scientific research, complex problem solving, and perhaps, who knows, even exploration of the space. Having said that, the road to the human level performance has just got shorter, and AI is now performing at the median level of the human performance, or will perform by the end of this decade or so. And definitely, we need to understand the use case that the AI will deliver the most value to the industry before applying it, because the impact will depend on the variety of factors, which is like mix and importance of different business functions, the scale of the industry's revenue, and we will see that marketing and sales would be the department employing AI the most. And with three most use cases would be lead identification, marketing optimization, and personalized outreach. It's also going to help the software engineers, reducing their time to code and having them a better experience. But still, the organization should be proceeding with caution. Before adopting it like wholeheartedly, they should definitely reckon with the reputational and the legal risk that they are exposed to. And one way to do this is the human in the loop approach. Human to check the output before publishing or using it. And it's definitely generates a small piece of the value potential from AI, which is like the bigger lion's share. And as per, you can see we cannot fully rely on AI or any technology. And even despite the AI's commercial promise, most organizations aren't using it yet. And I would end with a quote that would answer this question, that why organizations aren't using it yet. And this beautiful quote is by Stephen Hawking. And he says that success in creating AI would be the biggest event in human history. Unfortunately, it might also be the last, unless we learn how to avoid the risks. So that sums it
Yeah.
up all.
Exactly. I think that's in the place that we are at right now. Like we all of us, sorry, want to introduce Gen AI everywhere, but we have to be cautious and how on how to introduce it,
Yeah,
and yeah, but overall, the future ahead, I think, is exciting. Like every time that I open Twitter, I just seeing like a lot of, like new things, a lot of, like new ideas, new businesses, new, new stuff, that's really exciting. So we'll
yeah,
see how this goes, and how like these big corporations are like working on, in the way that uh, the AI, not only the Gen AI, the AI that they're using is more transparent, is more responsible, and we are more aware of what we are interacting with. So yeah,
yeah.
thank you. I think that's it for this event, for shaping the future with Gen AI. Thank you very
Thank you.
much, Prachi, for joining.
Thank you
And
so much, Evie, for inviting me.
it was a pleasure. And yeah, like, see you all online. And if you have any questions, or if you wanna reach out to us, on my side, is
Yeah.
here at Shavidop, and Ruchi on your side.
Uh, Mine would be findmyai.com and startupboypins.com, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn as well. I'm Ruchidhar.
Okay, perfect. So thank you everyone for joining.